Hello, everybody. Welcome to Creating Cards with Debbie. I want to welcome you here today. My name is Debbie Foster. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm located in Bismarck, Arkansas, and I'm a day early. I'm supposed to go live on January 1st, 2026, but I had to reschedule for today. It is Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. So there's a year's difference there. That's kind of odd, but I want to welcome you here today. Sit back and enjoy. We're going to make 3 greeting cards today, and I'm using some new products that are in our new mini catalog that's starting on January 6, 2026. So get yourselves comfortable, and I'll go ahead with our introductions and all of our housekeeping things. Uh, this one is talking about our paper pumpkin for our January kit. And you've got until January 10th to sign up for this one. And it says subscribe until January 10th. It's called Special Delivery. And it says send heartfelt Valentines featuring sweet postage stamp designs and sentiments for love and friendship. It makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs, 3 different coordinating envelope designs, pre-cut paper pieces with gold foil accents. And the Stampin' Spot that you'll get with this is going to be our Poppy Parade. And the kit arrives in a lovely coordinating box. Isn't this pretty? So you've got until January 10th to sign up for this one. And also, to go along with that, we've got our new dies that are coming out for the quarter, which will be good for the January, February, and March kits. And they are called Beautiful Blooms dies. And the item number on this is 168666. So these are $12, and you have to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber in order to get these. So go ahead and subscribe to the January Paper Pumpkin kit, and you can add these onto your order. So you get quite a few dies there. So as you can see, the first one says February, and then March, and then the January is the postage die. So lots of good things in there. All right. And then next we've got, starting on January 6th, we've got bonus days coming up again. So this runs from January 6th until February 2nd. And what this is you shop and earn a $5 coupon for every $50 you spend from January 6th to February 2nd. There's no limit to how many coupons you can earn. Make sure to use a valid email address when completing your purchase. And number 2, save. After placing your order, the coupon code or codes will be emailed to you. Make sure that you save those emails, write down or save the codes, or take a picture of the codes so you don't miss out on any savings, because you'll need those when you redeem. And that brings us to number 3, which is redeem. You can redeem your coupons from February 3rd to February 28th. Use as many coupon codes as you want during checkout. Tip: remember to separate each code by a space, and make sure to use them all before the month is over. Okay, like it says, bonus days. It's time for one of our favorite promotions, bonus days. Because do you know what's a great deal? Getting rewarded for all the crafting supplies you're already going to buy. When you shop between January 6th and February 2nd and spend $50, you will earn a $5 coupon. Make sure you save all your coupons because you can redeem them, and we mean all of them, between February 3rd and February 28th. And don't forget, each purchase earns you Stampin' Rewards, so that's even more bang for your buck. There's no limit to how many coupons you can earn, so make sure to share with your team. I want to make sure I share this with my customers, because bonus days will be here and gone before you know it. And like I said, that runs from January 6th to February 2nd. All right. And being today is the last day of December, you can still get the product of the month for December. That goes till midnight tonight Mountain Time. And it is called True Blue Florals 12 by 12 designer series paper. So what that is, with a $75 purchase, for an additional $5, you can add this product of the month onto your order. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. And we're going to go back to our screen again. And I want to, if you want to stamp any products that I'm showing today, you can stamp or shop in my store, which is scrolling across the bottom of the screen right now. And it is www.debbiefoster.stampinup.net. And you can purchase any paper products that you might be needing, or any of the products that I'm showing today will be also on there. But these are in the new mini catalog, which doesn't start until January 6th. So you'll have to wait a few days before you can order those items. But otherwise, everything else is available. And also, I want to put up the address there for our Paper Pumpkin subscription. And we already talked about that, but I'm kind of slow on the game here. And also, if you need to email me, you can reach me at creatingwithdebbie179@gmail.com, or you can private message me on Facebook. And if you want to get your starter kit, which comprises of, you pay $99 for your starter kit, that's free shipping, and you get to choose $125 worth of product, and that's of your choosing also. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. Not going to go into a long detail on that today, but reach out to me if you are interested in getting some extra Stampin' Up! Products. Okay. So I'm going to bring up my comments here, and I believe I'm live, so I can see any comments that come on. So say hello and let us know where you're watching us from. And we're going to go ahead and get started here. So first off, we're going to be using, these are the items that are in our mini catalog. Now, let me show you that catalog. I can show you the cover of it, but I can't show you the inside of it. I can show the outsides. And let me bring my camera down here to my desk. Oops, wrong button. Okay, I've got a lot of glare. Let me get that glare off of there. There we go, that's a little better. Okay, so here's the mini catalog. It starts January 6th and runs until April, or no, it runs till May 4th. Okay, they give you a few extra days on that April. So our mini catalog. And like I said, that runs from January 6th to May 4th. And I can't open the inside of it, but I'm going to show you some sneak peeks of what's in there. And this is one of those. It's called Friendly Foliage. It's the stamp set and the dies. We're going to be using that on our first card today. And let me show you the card. Get my instructions off of there. So here's the card. I kind of got smushed here. It says, thinking of you. And then on the inside, I've got you're on my mind and in my heart. Okay, so we're going to set that over there. And we're going to get started here with our bits and pieces. And I hope you're all not in too much of a hurry. We're going to be doing some die cutting here today, but not a lot. I've got a lot of prep work done already, so just save a little time. All right, our card base is going to be Smoky Slate. Let me get my pieces out of here. That's for the inside. Okay, so we've got 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and then it's scored at 5 1/2 inches. And we're going to burnish that fold line with our bone folder. And it's going to sit this way. And next we've got our basic gray, which is 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And that's going to be our mat that's going to go on the front of our card. And then we've got our basic weight. And this is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I've embossed that already with the Forever Plaid embossing folder. It's the 3D. And these are the larger ones. And I'm getting a lot of glare there. So hope you can see that okay. Maybe you can see the cardstock better. Yeah. That's going to go onto the front of our mat there. So I'm going to go ahead and attach those together using our combo glue. So I had to do my live today because we're going to meet my nephew and his wife that are here, that came home for Christmas. They're both in the military in New York, so they're heading back home tomorrow. So they wanted to have lunch tomorrow with us before they leave. So I said, of course. I just had to reschedule my live, so that's what we're doing now. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Do you go by Debbie or do you go by Deborah? My real name, too, is Deborah. Where are you watching me from? Okay, this is going to go on to that basic gray. I usually do my lives on Thursday mornings at 10:30 Central Time. Like I said, we're going to be meeting my nephew tomorrow and his wife and baby for lunch before they head out to New York. So I didn't want to miss my live either, so I had to reschedule for today, which works out okay. All right, and then next we've got our designer series paper, which comes from this is from the, no, that's not from that, is it? Yeah, Gathering Together. And we're using this pattern. This is the back side. This is the side that we're going to be using. And I've die cut that using the dies that are in the notes or textured note dies. And I'm using, which one here? This one right here. And that is, did I mark? It's the second to the largest of those. I die cut the designer series paper with that. Oh, Virginia, okay. I bet you're all getting some of that cold weather too. All right, and then this one is our designer series paper, and it is 2 inches by 4 3/4 inches, and that's going to go on the side here, the right side. So we're going to go ahead and attach that. And put our card over there for a moment. We're going to work on this layer. So I'm going to line that up against the right side. And we're going to take this layer. It's going to go over the top of that. I think I did the wrong one. I did. I was supposed to go with a smaller one. Let me bring my dies back out here. Let me cut that down smaller. It wasn't the number 2. It was looks like it's this one. So that would be the third from the largest. All right, we're going to run that through our small cut and emboss machine. It's been a few days ago since I did this, so I guess I'd forgotten. And we're going to run this through real quick. Okay, Debbie Bach. Okay. Now I know. I didn't realize you're in Virginia, though. Glad you're on here. All right, this is better. All right, now that's going to go on top. That's better. And we're just going to glue that directly down. I love this paper. I think it's on the last chance, or is it still current? I'm not sure. It's hard to keep up with all of them. Okay, you're about 40 degrees. We're warming up a little bit today. We have been cool. I think today's high is supposed to be 60 or 61. So it's finally cooling, warming up a little bit. But it was pretty nippy there for a while. But then Christmas Day, we're like 70 some degrees. Crazy. Surprised we're not all sick. All right, I'm going to place this down on the front of our card. My glue bottle is getting down to the end. Got an extra one here just in case I run out. Well, might be getting close. And place that down on the front of our card, keeping an even border going around it. I'm in Arkansas, Debbie. And we're the southern part of Arkansas. All right, now I'm going to bring over my scrap of white, and I'm going to do some stamping. And I'm going to use Old Olive. Yeah, the weather is crazy. You don't know how to dress. And I'm using that large flower image. And stamp that onto our white, basic white. Let that sit for a moment to make sure it soaks in good. Looks good. And then I'm going to bring the die over here. Where did I put? Oh, goodness. I've already misplaced things. Here we are. Bring out the die to cut that out. And it's got two dies. It's got the one that cuts out the outer portion of it, and then it's got the more detailed one that cuts out the inside section. So we're going to bring over our Post-it tape here. And I'm going to hold that into place. Let me bring this down here so I can see. And I'm going to attach the outside one first, getting it all lined up right. And then I'm going to gently place this one inside. Get that all lined up. Watching the top and the bottom to make sure that they're situated right. And maybe some more tape here. I'm just double checking to make sure nothing's moved on me. And we're going to run that back through our machine. Yeah, this is an interesting stamp and die set. I'm kind of liking it. At first, I wasn't sure, but it's growing on me more every day. And I've seen lots of samples of it on Pinterest and such that makes it even better. We're going to punch out those little shads. And so this is going to go onto there. I need to have my magnetic dish over here to put that in, but I'm hoping I don't lose them. All right, so next we're going to place, close up my ink pad first before I stick my hand in it. And we're going to do some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this. And I think I'm going to use some small ones here. I'll bring my take your pick tool over here. What would we do without our take your pick tool? I'm constantly using it. It's one of my favorite tools that I can't live without. And I'm just going to put them in the spaces that are a little larger so they don't show. So, one there. Can't squeeze any more in here. Hang on there. Oops, that one needs to be moved over a little bit. Okay. This out of my way. All right, one more. I think I got them all off of there. There's one more hanging on. Get rid of. Bring our card back over here. Make sure it's going the right direction. And we're going to center that onto our die cut. All right, and next we're going to do some die cutting. We're going to cut some leaves. Get that mess out of here. I almost lost my stamp pad. All right, so get the dies back over here. We're going to be cutting out some leaves. I'm using these two. Bring our machine back over here. And I'm going to do 2 of each. Probably would have been better if I would have put these on an adhesive sheet, but I didn't do that ahead of time. So we'll hope for the best. Sometimes you can bounce them out of there, but it's not going to come out. So we're going to take your pick tool and poke those out. Okay, there's one. My fingers aren't working today. I'm all thumbs. All right, let loose there. Oh, thank you for sharing, Debbie. I forgot to say that. Okay, so we're going to cut 2 more. I'm not jiggling too much here. All right. So does anybody have any big plans for New Year's Eve tonight to celebrate? We don't do anything. We just go to bed early. Too old to be out there partying, I guess, all night long. Yeah, I appreciate that, Debbie. I'm hoping to get more customers and more viewers. I think I get more viewers watching the replay than I do on the live itself, which is okay. All right, get those little chads out of there. There. Clean up my mess here a little bit. All right, now we're going to bring that back over here. We're going to put one of each at the top and one of each at the bottom. That'll be something like that. So I'm going to bring over my glue. I'm going to use my fine tip glue to place those down. I think I'll start with this one. Kind of put it at the corner there. And the same with this one. And hold it down a moment to the glue. Whoops, the glue wasn't set very good. I don't want that stem showing underneath there, so I'm trying to place it strategically. All right. And the same with the bottom. Oops. The glue is taking its time attaching. Yeah, we used to do singing at our church on New Year's Eve night and then welcome in the new year. But that got to be too hard. We couldn't stay awake until midnight. So we didn't do it this year. Or we're not doing it this year, I should say. All right, I'm going to put this cap back on this before I forget. All right, so here we have our card so far, but we're not done. We've got more to do. I'm going to take a strip of 1/2 inch basic white, and we're going to stamp our sentiment on there, thinking of you. And that is right here. And I'm using the old olive again. This is one of the old stamp pads, but it still works for me, so I haven't replaced it. And I'm going to bring this down here so I can see. And I went off of that. So let's turn that over and try it again. It's hard to see white on white there. So try it again. That's better. All right. Thinking of you. And we're going to shorten that a bit. So bring my paper snips over here. I'm just going to snip that right side. And I've angled the other side a little bit. Let's shorten that a little bit too. So cut at an angle. And we're going to place a dimensional on the right side. And then just glue the left side directly down. So I've got some edges here I'm going to use. That feels kind of dried out. Might be kind of old. And just put that on the one side, the right side, and our adhesive on the other side. Yeah, we're getting down to the bottom here. And that's going to go right about there. Let's see if that's straight. It looks pretty good. And then I've made a bowl out of our, where is it? It comes in that suite with the bugs, this cute bugs. It's the old olive specialty rickrack. And I made a small bowl out of that. And we're going to place that down here using a glue dot. And I'm going to kind of put it at an angle. But we're not done yet. We're going to add some bling to the front of our card. And I'm using the low profile sparkle dots. And we have the green ones here. Let me grab my putty end. And we'll take 3 of those off. I'm going to start with the medium size. And a small one. And another medium one. Oops, if I can get it off of there. And we're going to place that right in the center of this flower, there in the center. So here's the outside of our card. Oops. See it? My lighting isn't very good. I've got sun glaring in here, so it's probably throwing it off. Okay, so we're going to do the inside. We've got our basic white, 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then I've got a strip of the designer series paper that is 1/4 inch by 5 1/4 inches. And we're just going to stamp our sentiment on the inside. And what did I put on the inside? I'll look at that again. You're on my mind. Okay, make sure I got the right one here. And we're going to use our old olive. stamp that the upper right hand side. Take our little strip here and add that to the side of our basic white. And I'm going to leave a little border on that left side. The sun is throwing my vision off here, it's coming in this window, but I'm not complaining. I love the sunshine. And put this on the inside of our card. All right. So, thinking of you, and you're on my mind and in my heart. I love the sentiments that are in there too. Thank you. I thought it was kind of pretty. I'm just happy how it turned out. Sometimes you don't know until you're almost done, then sometimes you don't like what they turn out to be. Okay, so let me clear it up a little bit and we'll get on to our next card. This away. Here's our next card. Get all my bits and pieces out here. I think I've got most everything prepped on this one. And okay, this, I've got green ink on me. We're going to have this card opening this way. It says, consider yourself hugged. And on the inside here, for you always. And I'm using the Banner Sayings stamp set and the punch, which is that triple punch. What is it called? It's called 3-banner punch. Yeah. You can get that as a bundle or you can buy them separately. And these also are in the new catalog, the new mini coming out. No, it's an online exclusive, which starts on January 6th. So we're using the Consider Yourself Hugged on the outside. And the Here For You comes from the Friendly Foliage. So 2 different stamp sets. All right. Get some room here. We're going to be starting out with our Petal Pink cardstock, which is 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches. And then it's scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. And we're going to be opening it this way. It's going to have this orientation. And trying to see which side I want to use. Okay. And next we've got our Very Vanilla, which is 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And I embossed this using the Lovely Stripes embossing folder, 3D. I don't know if the paper will show very well. And I'm going to work on the layers first before I attach it to my card. And then next, Get myself situated here. All right, next I've got another petal of pink, which measures 3 inches by 3 inches, and then our designer series paper measures 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, and this comes from the Brushed with Beauty. And we're going to be using this pattern. And then we've got another designer series paper that measures 1 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And this is going to go across the center of our embossed layer. So we'll go ahead and attach that. Yes, I love this paper. Well, and attach that across the center. And I'm not sure, is that Brushed with Beauty? I'm not sure if that's an online exclusive or if it's in the catalog. Okay, which way is the right side up here? And then I've got the ribbon that we're going to be using is out of reach here, and it's stretched to get that. It's on the last chance list. It's called Petal Pink Braided Trim, and it's marked down to $6.50. So I want to check that out before it's gone. And I'm just going to take a strip and I'm going to kind of eyeball it and run it across the center of our designer series paper. And I'm just going to snip that off. Should have used my ribbon scissors. And then I'm going to grab some tear and tape and run a line of that across to hold our ribbon down. And place that in the center. Grab that trim and place that down on top of that tear and tape to hold it in place. And if you wanted to, you could fray the ends a little bit. But you take a pick tool just to add a little more dimension to it. And then we're going to attach that to our card front. I should probably grab my new bottle of glue. This is getting pretty low. I got to shake it. I think I'm going to. Better than fighting it all the way through the video here. And I'm going to put a little extra glue because it's an embossed layer, so it takes a little extra. What embossing folder am I using? It is called the Lovely Stripes embossing folder, and it's an online exclusive. The item number is 167179 if you want to look that up later. All right, now we're going to attach this to our card front and make sure I've got it going the right direction. I guess it doesn't really matter. So I guess we're going to go it this way and place that down onto our card front, keep an even border going around it. And press a little bit. A little glue there. Let me get my adhesive eraser. I think I had some glue on my fingers and I transferred it. All right, and then we're going to take our squares here, our 3-inch and our 2 3/4-inch square. And we're going to attach that together. And I'm going to place that up on dimensionals. So dimensionals back over here. And getting towards the end of my sheet here. So let me I got 4 in here I can get off. And give me one more. This is going to go on the front of our card. And make sure I'm opening the right direction. This is going to go in the center. I'm really getting some sun glares in here. Can I fix my lighting anymore? Can't really. Let me pull the shade on my window. Excuse me a moment. There, maybe that's better. It's that time of the day, my west window. And I placed that down crooked, so let's pull that back up. I couldn't see. And that looks better. And then we're going to take our Berry Vanilla and we're going to punch out using that triple punch. I like to do mine upside down so I can see where my paper is. We get all 3, but we're only going to be using 1. I'm going to use the center one with the flag at each end, and then we've got these extras to use for another card later on. And we're going to stamp our sentiment, which says, "Consider yourself hugged." And we're just going to use our black Memento ink. And I have placed my black Memento into a craft white pad. I like the surface better of the pads than I do the Memento. So I'm going to pull this down towards me so I can get it centered. That's our pad. And I'm just going to glue this directly down onto our designer series paper. I've already got dimension there going on, so I don't want to add any more thickness. And it's going to go at the bottom. Centered. And then next we're going to add some baker's twine. And I used the baker's twine, the white, and then I colored it using my Stampin' Blends, our old olive Stampin' Blend. And then I let it dry, and then I made a triple bow. It's a double bow. And this is going to go onto the side there using a mini glue dot. And I'm using the mini glue dots that come from our paper pumpkins. And I've just got 1 on this sheet. I'm also use that one. And I'll place that onto that trim, that braided trim. And Position that on there. And we're going to add some bling to this, and we're using those same low profile sparkle dots. And I'm going to be using the green again. And start with a larger one, put one over here, and then two smaller ones. Right there, looks good. And another can go onto our banner right there. And I think I'm going to trim that tail on those a little bit. And next, we've got our inside layer. We've got a very vanilla. It's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then another piece of that designer series paper that is 1 inch by 4 1/4 inches. No, 4 inches. Yeah, 4 inches, 1 by 4. And that's going to go onto our side. I'm going to stamp the sentiment first. And what did I put on the inside? I'll look again. Here for you. And I'm going to use our black memento. Here for you always. And upper right hand corner. Thank you, Debbie. I try. Sometimes ideas are harder to come by than other days. And pick that up and place that down on our left side, leaving a little border. And I got a little hangover there. I'm going to snip that off. We'll put that inside of our card. And place that down. Okay, so here's our second card. Consider yourself hugged. And the inside, here for you always. And I had ink on my finger. Good. Well, I might have to put something there to cover that up afterwards. Should have checked my fingers first. All right. So there's our second card. I've got ink all over my hand here. Pick up just a little bit here. Wipe it on my pants. Thank you, Debbie. All right, then our next one is going to be using the Sweet Bugs. Oops, turn my light around here. And we're using the bundle, the stamp set and the dies. What does everybody think of the new design on their packaging? I'm kind of up in the air. I'm not sure if I like them or not. But it is what it is. And make a little room here. Okay. So here's our third card. This is a fun fold. And it opens like this. It says, "Hello, friend." And on the inside, I've got "Love you lots." And these are all coming out of that same stamp set. And let's got my instructions here. All right. We're going to start out with our Mossy Meadow as our card base. And the instructions out here. And my card. Don't get this all confused. Our card base is going to measure 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches. And then it's scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. But then we're going to cut off 3 1/2 inches from that front. So it would be, it would look like this. And save this layer because that's going to be our front flap. And then our designer series paper is going to go on that flap, and that measures 3 3/8 inches by 4 1/8 inches. And we're just going to attach that to that layer. I'm loving this paper. I think I've got to put another order in for it. I don't think one pack's going to last me very long. And let's keep a small border going around it. And the glue's wanting to stick really fast on this one. Not give me any sliding room. All right. And then next we have our flap layer. And this one measures 1 7/8 inches by 4 1/8 inches. And that's going to go onto this left flap here. So go ahead and attach that. And I'm going to open this up so I can see better. Place that down. Even a small edge around it. I've got glue all over my fingers here. Yeah, I agree, Debbie. I guess we'll just get used to it. All right. And it's going to go right there. But first we're going to add our layer on the inside. And this designer series paper, we're going to be using that side of it. And that measures 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. So we're going to go ahead and stick that down inside. And again, we're going to leave a small border going around it. And now we can attach this to our front flap. But I don't want to glue the whole thing. I want to just put a little glue at this left side. So I'm going to kind of hold my hand there so I don't go past that. And add a little adhesive. And then I'm going to hold my card shut and kind of center that on there. And we'll press that down. Yeah, they will take up less space. My only question is with the stamps. With our other one, we had the one side where we could stick our stamps to, and then they'd be okay. But with this, I stamped the image, so I know which stamps I might be missing, but I haven't figured out how to attach my stamps to it yet. So I don't know. I have to do some studying on it. Do you have any ideas? All right. And then we're going to take another piece of that mossy meadow, and this is going to be the inside layer. And this measures 3.5 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And I've got a basic white that measures 3 1/4 inches by 4 inches. And we're going to go ahead and stamp on that so we get that out of the way and we don't mess it up in case we have to turn it over. And we're going to be putting Love You Lots on the inside. And put that up in the upper left-hand corner. And I'm going to use Shaded Spruce. No, Mossy Meadow. Do I not have that out here? I don't. Well, I thought I did. I guess I did use the Shaded Spruce. I thought I used the Mossy Meadow, but I guess I didn't. So use the Shaded Spruce. And we're going to stamp that upper left-hand corner. And leave our ink pad out there for a moment. And I die cut our basic white using, these are the Nested Essentials dies. I use this die. It's a smaller, it's not the larger one. And we're going to stamp on that before we put our ink pad away. And it's going to say, hello, friend. Got some extra ones cut here in case I mess up. And we're going to put that upper right-hand corner. And I've got to take one more stamp out of there that I forgot. It's those little lines. I didn't think I was wanting the stamp set at first, but then the more I seen of it, the more I liked it, so I had to get it. All right, and we're going to give them some lines. And I think that's enough because it's not going to show anymore. I'm going to put a ribbon across there. Okay, so Love You Lots can go ahead and go on there. And that's going to go on the inside, but I'm going to line that up with the front side. So I'm going to put my glue on the back of this. And then I'm going to hold it up to that card, the front flap, and line those up. And bring this back over and just press it down. So now they're lined up together. All right, we'll put that aside. And go ahead and attach this to the front of the card. And I'm putting it more towards the bottom area on the bottom right. And I've got these that I cut out of the paper. We're going to die cut those. And I should have a bee here too. A bee and the caterpillar, whatever he is. And then for the inside, I've got the little mushrooms, the corner of it. And that plate's back over here. So I'm thinking I should be able to die cut all three of these at the same time. Grab my dies. Yeah, I do too, Debbie. The foliage one, friendly foliage. I like the sentiments in there too. So here's the dies, and we're going to find the bee one is right here, and caterpillar one, and the mushroom one. So I'm going to start placing them down. You could fussy cut these too. They probably wouldn't be that hard to do if you didn't have the dies. I know some people don't have the cut and emboss machine, so they don't usually order the dies. All right, we're going to line up this little guy. Today seems like a Friday to me, I guess, because it's a holiday coming up again. I'm all confused in my days. And get the bee on here, and I want to make sure he doesn't move. I know I die cut one, and my die moved on me, and I really messed it up, so I want to make sure he stays in place. And okay, everything looks well. Run that through. Machine squeaking. And pop them off. It's going to go on the inside. Put my dies away so I don't lose them. All right, so we're going to add our little caterpillar over here, and our bee is going to go up top here. So I'm going to place dimensionals on some of this. Maybe a new pack of dimensionals here. I have some here. No. Yeah. Usually I'm laying all over the place here. Here's some. And I take the pick tool to grab those off with. We're going to add some behind the leaf part. And maybe a small one behind the tail. Well, maybe not. I don't think I need one there. And on the bee, we're going to just put one on his back here. All right. Don't lose those mushrooms. Bring our glue back over here. And we're just going to add a little adhesive to the body. Get the dimensional backings off. And I'm going to kind of keep them over on the edge here to give enough room for the bee. And we'll add a little glue to the bottom of his body. Okay. And then we have some of that same ribbon, the old olive specialty rickrack. And I've cut probably about 3 inches long. And it's going to go across here. And I'm going to use my tear and tape again. Find the end of that. And it's crooked there, and let me put that right there. And I'll place that right along. And I'm going to trim that off a bit. Got it a little bit longer than I need it to be. And then we have the Ladybug Garden epoxy shapes that are in that same suite with the cute bugs, cute as a bug. And has the ladybugs and has these little like water drops kind of like. And I'm going to take a couple of the water drops and put on the leaf. One there, and a small one. I guess they're larger ones I'm using. And there, and a little one can go right there. All right. And let's finish our inside. We're going to put those mushrooms down at the bottom here. I've got something there. All right, glue. I don't want you spurting out here real fast. So I'm taking my time with it. And it's going to go in the bottom right-hand corner. All right. So here we have it. Hello, friend. And I'm going to put a little wink of Stella on the bee's wings, just to give it a little bit of bling, and maybe some on the leaf here. I've got things sticking to my fingers. I got glue on my fingers. All right. So here we have it. Hello, friend. And on the inside, love you lots. Okay, so there's our 3 cards for today. Hope you enjoyed them. And let me bring them all out here so we can showcase all of them. And all right, so I hope you liked them. And I hope you'll join me again next week, which should be back on my regular time on Thursday. And that will be January, looks like January 8th at 10:30 Central Time. So until then, y'all have a good rest of your week. And I should have taken that banner off of there. I'm sorry. That was probably blocking some of your view. Okay, so y'all have a good evening this evening if you're out there celebrating, or if you're welcoming the new year in while you're sleeping. Hope you have happy dreams. And we will see you next year, January 8th, 2026. Hard to believe. Happy New Year, Debbie. Which one was your favorite? The friendly foliage, or the next one, or the cute as a bug? Guess it's cute as a bug. No, sweet bugs. The middle one? Yeah, I agree. I love that paper. Hope they keep it for a while. Okay, so I'm going to let you all go. And thank you for being here. Be sure you like and share the video. So until next time, bye-bye.